Good morning and welcome to the Jon DiVito Show. It is Saturday morning, the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And I hope you guys all had an amazing Thanksgiving holiday. I hope you had just an amazing beginning to the weekend. And we're going to be talking about some stuff this morning, primarily the Ghislaine Maxwell trial that is beginning on Monday, and also what happened in Waukesha as well. We've been up against a lot right now in society, and I feel like I need to get on and talk about some of these things. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of the Jon DiVito Show. So we got some snow last night in Boston. We right now have probably 2 inches of snow on the ground, first snowfall of the year. And snow is really nice here until we get to like sometime in January, and then we can do without it. So anyway, welcome to the Jon DiVito Show. It is Saturday morning. It's 9:20 a.m. Welcome to Cummings coming into the show, and welcome to all those you're going to be joining me today. And today, for one of the first times, I am live here on Podbean, but I am also live on TikTok. So we'll see how that goes today. And for the poor people on TikTok, if you do join my show today, you're unfortunately going to have to look at me at this point and see what I look like in person. So I apologize, but my wife did tell me I have the perfect face for radio, and she's right, so I wasn't meant for video. That's why I've kind of held off on this for so long. But some of the things we want to talk about today is now, as everyone's seen in the news the last couple of days, we're hearing all about the new COVID variant, right? They're going to start jamming this thing down our throat right now, right? So it's this new COVID variant out of South Africa. They're shutting down travel, to the United States. They're shutting it down to England. And in my opinion, we've all been waiting. We've all been waiting for the distraction that's going to prevent us from paying attention to the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, which is starting in federal court on Monday. And I need to be clear about this. And thank you for all the people that are joining me on TikTok and for the people here on Podbean Live as well. Now, I've been thinking about this a lot. We've all seen the stories about Jeffrey Epstein. We've all seen the stories about the Lolita Express. We've seen the names that were reported on the flight logs. And we have just a mix of some of the most rich and famous people in this country and in this world. We have politicians, and I'm talking politicians from the left and the right. We have actors. We have royalty. We have the muckety-mucks of this world flew on that Lolita Express and went to Pedophile Island on Jeffrey Epstein's jet and on his island. There were reports of people like Bill Clinton, the hero for the Democratic Party, who flew 26 times on this jet and went to Pedophile Island. Now, let's not forget that Hillary Clinton also was reported to be on this jet. I mean, there were names of royalty. There were names of multiple actors. And I'm not going to get into mentioning all the names because I don't want to get into a situation where I'm pointing the finger at maybe people that were there. But the bottom line is now we've got this new COVID variant that was introduced this weekend. And I'm not surprised. I've been waiting for the distraction technique. I've been waiting for the first thing the media was going to put out there to try to distract us from the truth. So now you have all the media outlets are reporting on the new COVID variant. Just convenient timing that this is happening as we're looking at the trial of Ghislaine Maxwell starting on Monday in federal court. So again, the trial starts Monday. It's in federal court. So one of the things with federal court also is they do not allow cameras into the courtroom. So go figure that, right? So federal court, they set it up in a way where cameras cannot be in the courtroom. Now, we saw with the Kyle Rittenhouse case that, cameras were present constantly. They got every aspect of that case. And again, as we know, Kyle Rittenhouse was called a white supremacist, even though, he was a white man who shot 3 white men. I'm not sure exactly how that works in society. But now we see in federal court that the Ghislaine Maxwell trial will not be shown anywhere on television. Now, isn't that convenient where this is a federal case and it's not going to be shown anywhere? So honestly, we are not going to be able to see the truth. We are not going to be able to see who actually was on that island. We're not going to hear the stories from Ghislaine Maxwell directly that will tell us what happened on that island. I mean, really? Are you kidding me? We're not going to hear about the people who flew to this island multiple times and had sex with minors, had sex with children, had sex with babies. All I can say is, as a country and as a society and as a planet, if we are not going out of our way to protect the children of our country, and we are not going out of our way to protect the children of this world, what are we worth? What are we worth if we're not willing to stand up and protect our babies and protect the children of this world? We know sex trafficking is a real thing. And here, this should be literally the biggest news story in the history of our country. Am I wrong? I mean, this should be the biggest thing we've ever seen, and we're not seeing it. We're seeing little small news stories here and there, mostly by Republican, media outlets. And all I can say is, I don't care. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're my favorite actor. I don't care if you're royalty. I don't give a damn who you are. If you have molested a child, regardless of your political affiliation, regardless of who you are, you need to be brought to justice. You need to be put in prison. You need to be brought to justice. And we cannot allow our children to be molested by these animals. And that's what we're allowing happening. It cannot continue. It cannot continue. So I'm asking for all the people live on Podbean, I'm looking down, I'm looking for forums out there. We need to share the story. It can't be just me. I did have one TikTok that kind of went viral. I've got like almost 500,000 views, but that's not enough. We need each and every one of you to get on social media and demand answers in this Ghislaine Maxwell trial. We need to make sure that we know who the people were that committed these crimes. And we need to make sure that these people are brought up on charges and are put away and brought to justice. This is our responsibility as the American public. This is our responsibility as the American people. We need to make sure that we hold our government accountable and we hold these people accountable. It needs to be done. And, again, quite frankly, I'm really surprised that Ghislaine Maxwell hasn't, committed suicide yet. We saw it with Epstein. He was, as I feel, suicided. And, if you look at the Clintons' background, I mean, look at how many people close to them have committed suicide. I don't remember the exact number, but I remember it's some ridiculous number, like somewhere in the ballpark of 50 people that they knew have committed suicide. I mean, think about that number. I mean, how many people out there listening to me right now know 50 people that have committed suicide? And Jeffrey Epstein, either A, he was killed in prison, or B, he was let off someplace and he's living somewhere in anonymity, not being held accountable for the crimes that he committed. So I'm very, very surprised that Ghislaine Maxwell is still alive. And again, if we find out in the next week that she committed suicide, we all need to stand up and demand answers. Someone is going to kill her. Someone is going to end her life. And I'm honestly surprised it hasn't happened yet. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say about, about this whole case that's going on right now. And it doesn't surprise me. We are going to see one distraction technique after another. We are going to see the media outlets come out. They're going to be defending their own people. We're now seeing the COVID story that's coming out, the new COVID, variant that's going to be infecting the world. And that's the first thing. But we're going to see one thing after another that are going to try to distract us from what happened on Epstein's Island. And they're going to try to distract us from what happened in this Ghislaine Maxwell trial. You need to all be vigilant. You need to make sure that you are Googling things, that you are looking things up on the internet. I will try to post updates here if I can, but there's no guarantee you're going to see them on TikTok if the algorithms don't work in my favor. So the bottom line is, make sure you by these animals, molested by the elite in this country. I mean, these people think they can get away with anything they want, and this can't be allowed. And again, I have a lot of people that come to me you're a Republican, Donald Trump was on the island. First and foremost, I will say this clearly. I supported Donald Trump. I voted for him twice. If Donald Trump molested children, proof that Donald Trump actually went to this island. There was plenty of proof that Bill Clinton was there. There were pictures, there were things like that. Now, was Donald Trump a great guy all the time? No. I mean, he wasn't always a great guy. But the bottom line is there's no with Epstein. Know about Bill Clinton's history. Bill Clinton was a guy that was accused of rape. He was accused of molesting people. He was accused of sexual assault multiple times. My buddy Jeremy Cummings, who was just in here a little while ago, he may still be here. He interviewed Juanita Broaddrick on his podcast, and I'm going to be interviewing her also in December, which I'm really looking forward to. She's not going to talk about the Bill Clinton rape, but she is going to talk about what Bill Clinton was like, what type of person he was. And I think we all know, right? And I agree. I see the comment coming in on my TikTok, and I'm a little new broadcasting on TikTok, so I apologize. But Trump loves America, period. I agree with you 100%. I felt that Donald Trump loves America. I felt he cared about us as people. Joe Biden doesn't give a damn about us. Joe Biden is out to destroy this country, and Joe Biden is not here to help America. I mean, if you look at what just happened, Joe Biden just released 50 million barrels of oil from our oil reserve. All right, let's talk about that for a couple of minutes. Now, that first and foremost is saved up in case we go to war. The oil is saved in those reserves in case we are in an emergency in this country and we need to tap that reserve. Donald Trump basically stockpiled that oil that Obama had run down to nothing, and he did it when the oil prices were at an all-time low. So now we've got Joe Biden in office. Joe Biden released 50 million barrels of oil to the country, and that's basically like a 3-day supply. That's nothing. It's not going to help us. It's not going to affect the prices. It's not going to take any money out of your budget whatsoever. However, what he's doing now, I don't know if you've seen this, but the reports have been on the internet. If you don't believe me, Google it. He is sending 18 million barrels of our oil that we have in reserve to China and India. Are you kidding me? Why are we not up in arms about this? Why are we not demanding answers? How is Donald Trump actually sending our oil to China and India and not taking care of us, the American people? So for me, I don't get it at all. I don't understand why this is being allowed. And we need to stand up as a people and stop these things from happening. We're sending our oil reserve to our enemy, and Joe Biden is doing this, and the media is not reporting on it, and the media is doing nothing to prevent it. So it is what it is. America, we need to decide what type of company we want to live in. We need to decide if we're going to stand up against these criminals. The criminals that were on Pedophile Island that are abusing children, they are the rich. They are the elite. They are the politicians. They are the criminals in this country that flew to that island with the intent of having sex with minors. Actors, politicians. We're talking about everybody. We're talking about the royalty that was there. This is an exclusive group of people that abuse children. You've got Joe Biden now is sending our oil reserves off to China. We have been taken over by a government that does not care about us. They have evil intent. They are looking to destroy our country. And it's time for the American people to stand up and do something. If we do not do something to prevent this, it is going to continue to take over our country, and it's going to destroy our country. One more thing I want to talk about also. This is going to be a fairly brief podcast this morning, but what happened in Wisconsin? I mean, look at the Christmas parade. And now, to reference that to the Kyle Rittenhouse case, you had a young man who had an AR-15 assault rifle. He went into the Kenosha riots, and he went in to protect his family's business. He went in to protect his family. He had a med kit with him. He was looking to help people. He was attacked by career criminals. He was attacked by a pedophile who had been convicted of molesting multiple children. He was also attacked, and they were trying to kill him. Let's be frank. They were trying to kill him. He was attacked by 2 other people who were intent on his destruction. And what happened? He had to defend himself, right? He had to protect himself from being killed. If he had not protected himself, Kyle Rittenhouse would have been dead. So what happened to him? He was called a white supremacist. He was called all these horrible names. Now, white supremacy, all right? He was a white man. He shot and killed 2 white men and injured a 3rd white man. The judge was white. The attorneys were white. Everybody involved in this case was white. So I'm not sure how this is a racist issue. I'm not sure how this is white supremacy. It's absolute garbage. It's absolute garbage. So now what we're seeing is what's happening now again in Wisconsin. And this makes no sense. You have this person who, again, was a career criminal who had just been in prison. He drove his vehicle intentionally into a group of people, and he literally, killed 6 people. He killed 6 people, injured multitudes of others. And what's happening? The media is not reporting on it, right? We're not seeing anything in the media. We're not seeing anything that suggests that this was an act of terror. And why isn't he being accused? Why isn't this person being brought to justice? I mean, they gave him bail, and there's now money out there. There's now money being saved and put on the guy. Multitudes of people, and nothing is being done to stop this. Nothing is being done. Kyle Rittenhouse is being held to basically a higher standard, where he, again, was a white man who defended himself, and he's a criminal. You've got people coming out and destroying him in the media. But this gentleman who just went out and killed 6 people, grandmothers, children, and has injured many. Nothing is being done. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. This is going to be a brief podcast. I wanted to do a quick live on TikTok and just talk about some of these things. But the bottom line is, just to summarize very quickly, the Ghislaine Maxwell trial starts Monday. All right? Do not let the new COVID variant story distract you from what happened on Pedophile Island. Do not let these things prevent you from paying attention to the Ghislaine Maxwell trial and what happened on Pedophile Island. It's up to you to search this stuff. I will try to report on it, but we have to make sure that we are doing what we need to do to keep this thing in the light and demand justice from America, and demand justice for these people. All right? It has to be done. So the next thing that we need to do also is we need to make sure that we are paying attention to what happens in this case in Wisconsin. We need to make sure that we do not allow this case to continue to cause problems in our country. We are continually just not paying attention to this, and we need to make sure that we are paying attention to it. The other thing is also with Joe Biden, we have to make sure that we are on top of this. He's giving 18 million barrels of oil to our countries that are our enemies. These things need to stop. So anyway, this is the end of my podcast. I wanted to get on briefly and just kind of rip some of this stuff off. I hope you're all paying attention. We need to stand up in America and make sure that we are protecting our interests, because our country cannot survive another 3 years of this person as our president. We cannot survive another 3 years of the media constantly trying to brainwash us. So again, I want to thank everybody that stopped into my podcast today, and for all the people that stopped into my live as well. And I just dropped it. So that's real professional. But anyway, thank you for everybody that stopped in. I'm going to end this now. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for joining the Jon DiVito Show. Thank you.